Africans and many countries in Africa have conflicts, notably from Libya, Cameroon, Nigeria, Biafra, and the Boko Haram, to Democratic Republic of Congo, of where we have seen a resurgence of the past military and conflicts coming back in that country. Hundreds and hundreds of people have been displaced, killed, maimed, tortured, raped, several of them dying of hunger, starvation, and other natural causes. The fighting seems not to be ending. For the sake of Libya, the Libyan recognized international government is under siege in Tripoli from another faction recognized by Egypt, France, UAE, and other countries. Whereas the one in Tripoli is recognized by the UN, it has been bombarded, has been strangulated, and many millions of Libyans are dying of hunger, lack of water. The water system has been cut off. The bombardment goes on. In Democratic Republic of Congo, we've seen more of active rebel activities returning to the region after some silence has been observed. When we come to Cameroon, we see millions and millions of Amazonians slaughtered. Yet, when you come to Biafra, again, millions and hundreds of millions and millions are worried, displaced, tortured by the Buhari regime. Yet again in the north, we see Boko Haram killing, maiming, abducting, and burning down villages in the same Nigeria. When you cross over to Central African Republic, the same is the history that has littered Africa. While all these events are taking shape, Africa is silent. Africa is not making enough efforts to find a solution to what is causing the problems in Libya, in DRC, in Cameroon, in Nigeria, Biafra, and now you add in Khartoum, Sudan. As people die, the people of Africa have no answers, have no solutions. There is nothing to endear to bring an end to the conflicts that have killed Africa. We seem to be new ones manufactured, old ones reignited, encouragement coming from external powers. One power that has been seen in the shadows of all these conflicts, especially the one of Libya that has escalated in the Sahara region of Africa, is France. When you come to Democratic Republic of Congo, the same country is in the shadows. The war can be seen is France. When you come to Cameroon, in Amazonia, the one behind that has the key to bringing peace is France. Therefore, our question as Africans, why are we silent? Why are we not saying enough is enough of the wars? Thank you. Good afternoon, viewers. Thank you very much for watching Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting from the mobile political command center in Africa. Thank you very much. Across the globe, thank you very much wherever you are listening and watching us. This is Punchline Television Station, together with its radio station, together with another radio station, the Eye on Africa. Thank you very much. With me on this afternoon to bring to you this Africa Showdown show is none other than my beloved friend, Miriam Ogutu. Good afternoon, Miriam, in the studios in Nairobi.
Doc, a very good afternoon to you. I trust your weekend is coming up well, and a very good afternoon to our viewers who are watching us. Thank you so much for tuning in today.
Thank you very much. Across the board in Meru, in the eastern mountains of Mount Kenya, is one Douglas Kirimi, the destroyer of Mogadishu. Good afternoon, Douglas Kirimi. My dear brother, how is Meru?
Thank you, Doctor, and thank you for having me on the show, and to my co-panelists, and also to Miriam Ogutu and the crew that make it happen every day. Thank you for having me on the show, and Meru is fine. Meru is a bit chilly this afternoon, and we are ready for the show. Thank you, Doctor. Welcome to Meru. I will slaughter God for you and everyone that comes with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are soon on the way to Meru. Anytime when the referendum takes place, whether we like it or not, we have to do the referendum. If we don't do the referendum, forget about it. Forget about it. Don't do the elections in Kenya. It will bring you the worst disaster, worse than COVID-19. Thank you very much. Across on the road is none other than Daniel Sean Wesonga. Wesonga is our investigative journalist, special programs. He is on the road. I don't know where you have been. Wesonga, good afternoon.
Yes, a very, very good afternoon, Dr. Matsanga David. Good afternoon to Miriam Ogutu at our headquarters in Nairobi, my brother Douglas Kirimi Bundi and our viewers here in Kenya and the rest of the continent. I'm coming to you live from Nyandarua County. Of course, just expedition duties here and there to check on how the progress is in terms of counties battling COVID-19 across the county.
Talking about Nyandarua, how is the legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta? How do people feel it in the pubs, in the hotels, in the restaurants where you were since Friday?
Thank you, Dr. Matsanga David. And of course, Nyandarua County is doing quite well in terms of infrastructure. I could attest that since we came, the roads have been quite smooth. It was a smooth drive from Nairobi County all the way to Nyandarua. And of course, not just to mention the same thing being done by the county. And of course, that is due to the president's initiative of ensuring that devolution works. So the county of Nyandarua has enough resources to ensure that their hospital have seen more schools which have been refurbished, more health facilities along the road. And therefore, I could say so far, so good in accordance to the legacy of the president. Good work is happening here around the county of Nyandarua, Dr. Matsanga.
Thank you very much. Keep it there. You will update us on the development in Nyandarua and on the way to Nairobi. Across in Narok, in a place called Kirigoris, is none other than Samuel Olisana in Narok. Good afternoon, Samuel.
Good afternoon to you, Dr. David Masanga, Miriam Ogutu, Douglas Bundi Kirimi, Sean Wesonga, and of course, Javan Karanja, and Dr. Joseph Nyanchama, and everyone indeed who is tuning into this program this afternoon, who is watching this program. And of course, it's going to be a very great afternoon, a very candid discussion you're going to have, Dr. Masanga. Thank you. Back to you, Dr. Masanga.
Thank you very much from Narok. Across in the CPD of Nairobi, Dr. Joseph Nyanchama. My colleague, thank you very much for always being there for us, standing by us on issues of Kenya elections, on BBI, on Africa, Pan-Africanism. Thank you very much. Just a microphone, Dr. Joseph Nyanchama.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Masanga, Miriam, and my fellow panelists, Tawish, Douglas, and Sesson, and others. This is Punchline Africa. I hope those who are going to listen today, they're going to learn more I usually say that you are going to pick the tip from the top, the trip from the top, and you will become the cream of the crop, because always make a date with this TV, synchronized with the radio station. This is the place to be. Thank you, Dr. Masanga and my fellow panelists.
Last but not least, more are coming. It's Javan Karanja from the city of Nanyuki. Nanyuki, how are you, Javan Karanja?
Thank you very much, Dr. David Masanga. Indeed, I'm coming from the city here of Nanyuki. Maybe soon it'll be a city, but I'm fine, and a good afternoon to our viewers wherever they are watching this broadcast from. And good afternoon to my fellow panelists and our super host, Miriam Mongutu in Nairobi. Always a pleasure showing up on Punchline Africa television.
Thank you very much. Viewers, I come back to the point and I come back to the show. Today, our show has two segments, the African segment and the global segment. The African segment, we shall tackle the Kenyan politics. We shall look at the newspapers. Miriam will tell us through the newspapers what is striking, and any of you who has something that is striking out of the newspapers headlines can come up with the topic and we discuss. The time ticks now, the time starts now. Miriam, take it away.
All right, Doctor, thank you so much for that introduction. Now, on the Sunday Standard, the main headline there, Ruto's win, a warning shot to Raila and Kalonzo. Should the DP ride on the Hustler Nation to victory next year, as he did in Kiambaa, it will portend the permanent exit of the old guard like ODM and Wiper leaders from national politics. That is what we have on the headline there. And then the Sunday Nation, Jubilee in crisis, talks not sitting pretty. The president's party has called for a top officials meeting at its headquarters in Pangani, Nairobi next week to discuss, among others, its humiliating loss in the hands of William Ruto's United Democratic Alliance in the Kiambaa by-elections. And then on the side there, Uhuru allies now go for Tuju, and Murad, the politicians allied to the president's camp of the embattled ruling coalition, are now calling for the removal from office of the party's vice chairperson and secretary general, whom they accuse of letting Mr. Kenyatta down in Kiambaa, Juja and Bonchari. So that is the main headline there on the Daily Nation, Sunday Nation.
Thank you very much. Any comments from any of you now on the panel? Let's not go any quick, short comments. But our main topic today remains, can Kenya hold elections without reforms? Can Kenya hold a peaceful election without reforms? Any of you can go at the, please, because I'm going to limit the time. When I see your 2 minutes are over, you see me coughing, and you just, stop talking. Thank you very much. Tawish, who wants to
very
go?
well. Very well. Thank you so much, Dr. David Masanga, my colleague panelist, and everyone indeed who is watching this program this afternoon. Dr. Masanga, indeed, Kenya cannot go into an election without reforms, because again, that is the question we are grappling with this afternoon. Why am I saying so? You look onto the recent by-elections or elections that we have had in this country, the kind of relationship, the kind of animosity that is being brewed amongst different political parties, different political supporters of different political parties. It only but tells you, Dr. Masanga, that we are preparing this country for anarchy if we are to go into an election next year without reforms. And the reforms in which sense, Dr. Masanga? I think, first of all, it's about the IEBC. Have we reformed the IEBC to the extent that all political players and supporters can really take in confidence and in faith the results or the exercise that is being overseen by IEBC? As it is so far, Dr. Masanga, I do not believe so, because again, the testament from the recent by-election we have had in Kiambaa proves that still Kenyans do not have trust and confidence in IEBC, because again, you could clearly see, even in the run-up to that particular by-election and on the eventual day when voting was done and when counting was done, I mean, political players, those who are participating in this particular exercise, came out and, of course, exhibited some level of lack of faith and confidence in IEBC to actually provide a free, fair, and a credible election that which reflects the will of the people. So I agree with you, Dr. Masanga, that indeed this country needs reforms urgently, so that even as we prepare to go into an election, let us not just make it like it is a do or die. Let's not make it that it's a must-have event. We must prepare the ground so well before we can sow these seeds of having an election, Dr. Masanga. That is one. Second, Dr. Masanga, I think so many people, and looking into the headlines that Miriam has actually read over there, it is not time really to say that maybe it is David Murape or Raphael Tuju who are letting down President Uhuru Kenyatta. I think the participation and the performance of a political party cannot be pegged on a single individual. It cannot be on the party leader. It cannot be on the Secretary General. It cannot only be left to the chairman of the political party. I think it starts from the grassroots, the supporters themselves. If, for example, the people of Kiambaa allow themselves to be compromised when it came to voting, for example, being induced by money to actually compromise their own conscience and as far as the right candidate is concerned, how does that come to blaming the Secretary General or the chairperson of the party or even the party leader of the party? I think this is something that calls for a well-concerted effort, a progressive approach towards finding a solution to how Jubilee fortunes can be redeemed, how moving forward this formidable party can be restored to where it was in the first place. But I do not think that this is the time really to point fingers at any individual or to any quarters. It is time for every of these individuals really to go for assessment and do an actual audit of what needs to be done so that this party can be revitalized. Dr. Masanga, I submit.
Thank you very much. I wish your 2 minutes are over. And thank you very much. Dr. Najama, this is a very trying moment, a moment for Kenya. A moment for Kenya. Do they go in an election when we have not known even where the spoiled ballot papers went? Mr. Chebukati was asked one question. The Deputy Chief Justice, a thief who still remains on the bench in the court, who should have gone, who should have resigned, is still on the bench. He's going to ask the same questions. A thief, a woman who was indicted for fraudulent money, is still there pretending to be a Deputy Chief Justice. Tell me how she's not going to ask this question. Dr. Nachama.
Thank you, Dr. Masanga and my fellow panelists. First of all, let me just take a few seconds to comment on the headline that Miriam read, especially on the Hasra Nation. Let me tell you, my fellow panelists, Dr. Masanga, through you remember what Karl Marx said, poverty is the religion, is the opium for the poor. Have you realized that, by the way, Karl Marx was right? Look at all of these events where people rush to. They rush to churches where they go to enslave the people who had started to see the light through the development agenda of the president. And I was shocked, Dr. Masanga, when I saw one bishop standing before the church, before the congregation, and saying, Your Excellency, we are all behind you. Can you imagine? In a church service.
Dr. Najama, be precise. They were saying it in front of Ruto. We have one excellency here. His Excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, not Ruto. For me, I don't pronounce Ruto as His Excellency. He was a church mouse who had gone to fund the churches. Just to be specific, which Excellency was this?
This was the Deputy President. That's what I was saying. I was only quoting the words from the bishop.
Yes.
How do you say in the house of the Lord that we are all behind you? I thought they were all behind Jesus Christ. That is why Karl Marx was right, that the religion now is being used as the opium of the poor.
Yes.
These people want to destroy this country by leading the masses, especially the poor, in the wrong direction. They are taking advantage. And the government, through the justice system, needs to move quickly and reverse this ideology of misleading the innocent people because of their economic status. Coming to the referendum, Dr. Masanga, we have always repeated here in the past discussions that we must change if we must restore the peace of this republic. You hear the Deputy President saying that people are seeking positions, but he's also seeking position. What a contradiction. I mean, I don't understand, by the way, the sanity level of some people. And the people clap.
Does he have sanity anyway?
What is he?
The corrupt man can never have sanity.
What is he seeking himself?
Yes.
What I'm just appealing to Kenyan people, let us rally behind the ideology of changing the constitution, because all what hard-working Kenyans need is peace, so that they serve their gift to the world. That is all what we need. We don't need this rhetoric, mediocre thinking of only wanting to tell people only what they want to hear. You know what they tell the masses? Only what they want to hear. And the masses have fallen a trap to this. And that is why you see they get excited on mediocre statements. And I want to appeal my fellow Kenyans, please, don't be misled. Remember what Karl Marx said, religion is the opium of the poor. And watch it. Don't misunderstand me. Don't confuse between spirituality and religion. Religion destroyed Jesus Christ. But thank God he came back and they saved all of us. And we must reject those who wear gowns in the name of Christians, misleading the masses they are given to lead. To that extent, Dr. Masanga, I submit, and we must have a referendum if we must continue to enjoy the continual peaceful situations of this republic. I submit.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nyachama. Thank you for those sentiments. If Karl Marx told you that religion is opium, church leaders in this country have lost the plot. Most church leaders adore human beings. They adore the deputy president more than they adore Jesus. When the deputy president arrives anywhere with money, church leaders even kneel down to say, thank you very much, you have brought. What has caused this poverty? Poverty of faith is not the natural poverty. It is the poverty of faith that we lack, that churches in this country lack. Douglas Kirimi from Meru, your governor looks shaky. He has always been shaky in Kenyan politics. He's my great friend, but I didn't know that he has ambitions of talking like that in the President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy. Our role here is to protect the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. We don't have any other role. I don't have any other role to play. I'm not a voter in Kenya, but to protect the legacy of what he has done until his term ends. That's it. Then we see what to do. But if you come in the middle to destroy the legacy, we shall also destroy you. So thank you very much, Douglas Kirimi from Meru. Tell us.
Thank you. sorry, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. And I wish to comment on Governor Kiraito's outburst on Jubilee administration and Jubilee Party of Kenya. This is a man that has killed Jubilee Party in Meru and its performance and everything, disregarding every project that has been done by the government of the Republic of Kenya, led by His Excellency, the President Uhuru Kenyatta. This is a governor that has declared Jubilee Party persona non grata in Meru, and also telling us how he is going to launch his own party. Even after auctioning his own party, the Alliance Party of Kenya, APK, to Jubilee administration in their first term, and also being a co-chairman of Jubilee Party, making sure that they brought together over 14 parties. His bitterness with the Jubilee Party does not esteem on performance of President Uhuru Kenyatta in terms of infrastructure. As a governor, he has been able to, he was grappling with the traffic jam in Meru town and other towns. President Uhuru Kenyatta opened up Meru town with the bypasses, the roads that have been constructed, dams, title deeds that have been given to the people of Kenya from this part of the world, and also everything that the president has done. He is not talking about it. He is busy talking about Jubilee Party, which he was not a member. And also, when he comes out...
Continue, can hear you.
I'm not talking
you can
to
hear
you.
me, Miriam.
Yes.
Go on. I'm signaling to something here.
It's okay.
Okay, Doctor.
Don't be disrupted.
So, Doctor, we are dealing with a very hybrid political conman in the name of Kiraito Murungi, a man who is not grateful to the Jubilee administration. A future of prosperity that they encompassed when they formed the Jubilee Party in 2016, 2017. A future where we can get electricity in our villages. A future where we can get better roads and all that. He is a selfish politician who has been auctioning the people of Meru, telling us about forming parties, even after promising the whole nation and the whole world that a party that can bring the people of Kenya together, a minority party like Jubilee Party, is essential for taking democracy to the next level. Now he is back to the drawing board, telling us how he is going to make sure he forms another party. We don't want to be auctioned. Any member of Jubilee Party that has to follow Governor Kiraito Murungi, you are being ready for auctioning to the next highest bidder. And also, Dr. Masanga, I wish to comment on this. If Kiraito Murungi is a Tanga governor, he needs to come out clearly and support William Ruto so that we can have another governor that supports President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2022. And we have no more demands for the governor. The governor has failed as a governor. All he has is to poke his nose on Jubilee administration's scorecard, which is far better than his own scorecard as a governor, even as after getting billions of shillings for over 4 years now, Dr. Masanga. Even on this financial year, we are waiting for him to deliver on his agenda so that he can go home as other people are going, Dr. Masanga. And also on the issue of IBC and also how we have seen the IBC conduct itself in the recent past. IBC, the way it is today, we cannot get to elections, Dr. Masanga. We cannot go to elections as a country. The way IBC it is today, we need to restructure IBC and make sure that IBC is sanitized properly, and also make sure that IBC stands for all, for the people of Kenya, for the welfare and the benefit of the people of Kenya. Today we have an IBC that has said itself, it is technically unprepared for this election. The court has declared IBC unconstitutional and also not properly constitutionally constituted. Thank you. That is the word. The IBC chairman, Dr. Masanga, a chairman that has gone out of his way to be biased and also to take political sides. And that is what we don't want for Kenya. We don't want this IBC chairman to continue and hold elections in 2022. Without reforms in this country, Dr. Masanga, we cannot be able to take this country forward. And without reforms in this country, we cannot be able to have credible, free and fair elections in this country, Miriam. Miriam and Dr. Masanga. We have a problem here. I am Dr. Makau Mutua asking, William Ruto losing elections in 2022, is he going to accept defeat in 2022, or we are going to go the way of 2007? And I've said, Dr. Masanga, I want to pronounce myself. I'm a politician, and I have no shame saying that this election is the people of Kenya. It's about a few politicians. We can sit down and make sure that reforms are effected at IBC. We have proper reforms so that we can take this country forward. No reforms, no elections in this country. We can't ban our own country because of elections, Dr. Masanga. I submit.
Those are very serious points that you have made. You can't ban your own country because of elections. Ruto is on record of causing all the violence since 1992. 1992, why Kanu, he was there. 1997, he was there. 2002, he was there. 2007, he's the one who stood on the chair. Do you remember the picture where the production team down in the headquarters look for that picture and bring it here for the world to see who is more violent? The owner of the election, who was Raila, was quiet, but Ruto stood on the table and wanted to kill Mr. Kibutu. Yes, if you look at Benjamin Mkapa, he made a difficult situation for even in negotiations. Is this the man that Kenyans want to surrender power to? Javani Karanja from Nanyuki, your sentiments as far as the people of the mountain, and especially you cover Nyeri, you cover all those areas. What are your views on, do we have an election or no election? If there is an election, will there be reforms? Will BBI go through? We already see the courts are bent on making sure that we don't see the BBI at all. What shall we do? Have you ever heard of that song? What shall we do when they come for us?
Thank you very much, Dr. David Masanga. And you know all the problems that have been delivering this country after every election hearing period is because of a contentious election, especially the presidential ballot. Therefore, we don't want to go the path that we went through in 2007. We don't want to go the path we went through in 2017 because of electoral malpractices and electoral irregularities that caused this country people to lose their lives, property destruction, and a business to shut down. We, the people of Mount Kenya region, we know the pinch of what we go through, especially when our business are shut down because of election. We don't want to go that path. People make losses in their business enterprises because of these elections. Therefore, it is high time that we modify and we rectify and we restructure the IBC so that we can guarantee ourselves credibility as we head to 2022 general election. We don't want to see or to hear a death because of this election. We know what happened to Mama Pendo and the baby died. We don't want to see those kind of reoccurrences in future. Therefore, as a country, we need to push for reforms. We need to continue pushing for BBI because this is a document that is promising Kenya a prosperity in how we do our elections, in the fight against corruption, in terms of shared prosperity. These are the things that we need as a country. We need everyone in this country to feel included, to feel as part and parcel of this country. And that can happen if we kill marginalization, if we remove ethnic antagonism. That is the country that we want to be, a country where anyone can stand for an election and be declared a winner regardless of where they come from. A country where we can have the minority ruling this country regardless of where they come from, in the basis of ideologies and the manifesto that they represent to the people of Kenya. That is the country that we want. Therefore, moving forward, we need to sit down as a people and we modify and we ensure that we can have a country where everyone will celebrate to belong, where we have a country where everyone will be happy to be associated with. And that can only happen when we have unity, when we have inclusivity, when we have peace, when we have harmony, where everybody can go on with their business in all parts of this country without fear that an election will cause them to relocate, without fear that their property will be destroyed. That is the Kenya that we want. Therefore, those guys who have been going around, especially here in Mount Kenya region, selling fear-mongering, selling rainophobia, selling other kind of rhetoric, we want leaders to come with clean manifesto, clean ideologies that will take this country to the next level. We don't want to see anybody antagonizing someone else for their own political growth. That is not the Kenya we want. We want everyone at individual level to sell their agenda without dragging others in the mud. We saw what was happening in Kiambaa. Election was reduced to be a derby between President Uhuru Kenyatta and the deputy president. And in this case, we know for a fact they were not contesting for any position. But we saw the Tanga outfit calling names for the president. We saw others, all these kind of things. This is not the Kenya we want. We want a Kenya where everyone will sell their agenda without inciting others to cause violence or to cause havoc. That is the Kenya we want. Therefore, we need, as we head to 2022 general election, if we not have rectified, if you not have modified or restructured the IBC, there's no need to go for this election, because this country is bigger, this country is important than those who are contesting for this position. This country is bigger than IBC. This country is bigger than all of us. Therefore, we need to protect this country, and this country is bigger than elections. That is my conclusion. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Javan Karanja from Nanyuki. How is the railway? And I am told that there are so many people, the produce is coming to Nairobi. Everything is flowing to Nairobi. How is the railway treating the people since they opened it up? Karanja, before you go.
Thank you very much. The situation is very good, because now even when you go to, especially at the Chaka station, where we have the biggest market. The town is booming because of the agricultural and businesses that are coming on with this railway. Like right when you go to areas like Narumoru all the way to Nanyuki, you'll see business everywhere that we have a station for this railway line. We have a town coming up, and people are creating jobs. The hospitality sector, people are selling mandazis and so on. Therefore, there are a lot of businesses that have been brought by this railway coming to this area, and I hope every part of this country can have a railway line, because there are a lot of benefits that comes for this. The reduced transport from Nanyuki to Nairobi is too, yeah?
So this is a scorecard. This is the highest scorecard for President Uhuru Kenyatta on infrastructure development. The infrastructure development as far as opening up the country. Because there are so many people in Jubilee, this party of Ruto, who said there is no development. And that we don't eat roads. Surely there is no country in the world that can develop without roads, without railway, without airport, without infrastructure, without telecommunication. Do you think they have any idea that unless they are practicing what we call voodoo politics? Is it true?
Yeah, Dr. Masanga, I agree with your sentiments. We cannot develop without good infrastructure development. Because for Mama Boga that the DP Ruto keeps talking about, he needs a good railway line from Nanyuki to Nairobi so that they can take their produce in time to Nairobi. They need a good road from Nanyuki maybe to Nyeri so that they can take their bananas and mangoes in market in time without their goods going stale because of the bad roads that maybe cause these goods to go bad in the process of transferring them to market. Therefore, an infrastructure are very important. To connect this country to good schools, we need road. To connect ourselves to good hospitals, we need good roads so that we can take our patients in time, so that we can save life. We need good roads in all sectors of the economy. That is my take. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much, Saxon Vima from Harare, Zimbabwe. Good morning. Is it morning or afternoon in Zimbabwe?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
How are you? How is Harare? How is President Mnangagwa?
All is fine. Things are okay. How is the king and how is the UK? How are your panelists?
Our panelists are okay, but we shall come to you shortly to give us the news, the entire news of Harare, the new development. I am told you have reached the tax. The IMF has given you the tax green card that you have reached the collection and are on the way to the recovery. Is that true?
Yes, things are taking shape. Of course, despite the negative publicity, things are slowly taking shape. I know it's a long way, but we're getting there.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's cross over to our correspondent in Nyahururu. Is it? No, Nyandarua. Javan, Daniel Wesonga, where are you? You seem to have left. Okay, Saxon Vima from Harare, please give us an update. We are in Kenya, we are having a problem. We have elections. You also have a problem in Zimbabwe about electoral reforms, which the NGOs are agitating for. Is it a similar situation? The judges there wanted to bring a coup. The judges have brought a coup in South Africa. The judges in Kenya want to bring a coup. Are we in the same bracket?
What we did, we managed to reorganize our judiciary. We see we have problems that we're having was at the High Court, where these NGOs were siding with certain judges. But at upper court, like last week, the Constitutional Court threw away an application by these NGOs who wanted to overturn the Constitutional Amendment number 2. So the ruling for that the highest Supreme Court judge should remain is likely to be delivered this coming week, and it's definitely the High Court, the Constitutional Court shall rule that the appointment of the Chief Justice was above board, the extension of the term. And on Friday, Wednesday, the President said he's going to deregister all NGOs that are no longer following their mandate. That is the new development as far as dealing with these NGOs. They're going to be deregistered. They won't be able to operate as long as they step out of their mandate. That is the latest from Harare.
Thank you very much. Let's cross over to Sean Wesonga. He has again disappeared. I don't know where he's gone. But Miriam, back to you in the headquarters. If you have any other news, can you soften our going? But
Well,
if not,
yes.
I have music ready for you.
All right.
We can take an interlude before we jump on to a new situation. Thank you very much, Miriam.
That sounds good. Music sounds good.
Yes. Let the music come.
All right, as we wait for that, there seems to be a technical hitch from the command center there. So I think we want to go to the next topic that is on.
Yeah. Listen to the numbers. Yes, thank you. In the street. Let's see one song. Yes. What shall we do?
What shall we do?
This music is dedicated to our soldiers in Democratic Republic of Congo, in Ngoma, in Kisimayo, in Mogadishu, in South Sudan. We shall soon have soldiers in Mozambique. Thank you very much, all the fighting forces across Africa who are liberating Africa. Thank you very much. This is Radio Punchline Africa, together with Punchline Television and the Eye on Africa Radio. Dr. Dittman, Ottawa, from London. Thank you. What shall we do? What shall we do? you very much, Miriam. Back to you in the headquarters. That was a musical interlude in good English. Thank you very much. Across Africa, I did not study Ogundipe. I studied J.A. Bryant. Hey, and Dr. Najama, I think you did the same. You studied J.A. Bryant. Our exams were set by East African Certificate of Education. I was the last candidate, one of the few candidates in 1970 to do the East African. Miriam, my certificates don't read Uganda Certificate of Education. My certificate read the East African Certificate of Education in conjunction with Oxford or Cambridge University. Thank you very much, viewers. Back to you in Miriam. That is the other part of the radio. That's what I do in the morning to keep the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta alive until we finish our term. Ruto, don't disrupt us. Let's finish our term. Then you can come in with the Ugandan yellow shirts. But Matsanga will never serve yellow shirts. I detest them. I hate them. And I will never be party to any yellow color. Oh my God. Does Kenya understand what they are going through? Do they know that money is being poured to disrupt this nation? Do people know? Does the president know? If he doesn't know, for us, we don't work for any agency. We say the truth. There is no intelligence in this region that defeats me. I've been a rebel since 1978. And therefore I tell the truth. There is no intelligence that will cross me. Thank you. The money that is going to disrupt you, Kenya, is coming from the ruling party. That's a similar colors. Did you not say that, Miriam? Similar colors. Why is it that the UDA people don't wear green color only? They flag the yellow one to eat conmanship. You know, they are conning Museveni when he's looking that we shall remove. You see, Museveni has got this Raila phobia. He wants to be the chairman of East African community. The eldest leader is him. If you bring Raila in 2022, then you have a problem because people will vote Raila because of the democratic institutions that Kenya has. Walai. Are you all quiet? I can see. Dr. Najama, you've seen the analysis. We know, but when people come to say those big words, like Ichungwa has not paid my money. 876 euros. I paid for him, and he said he was going to Ankara, Turkey, return to pay. He has never paid. Every time I see him hiding in TV, one of these days, I'll wait in television where he's gone. Itatoa suruali. Ichungwa, lipa pesa zangu. Yes, another lumpen called Moses Kuria. I paid him 242,000 shillings when everybody had left him in industrial area to rot because of his bad manners. Moses Kuria, lipa pesa zangu. I'm also looking for you. When I find you, I'll disarm you with your pistol. I need my money. Thank you very much, viewers. I now come back to the subject of the day, in summary, parting shot on Kenyan politics. Dr. Miriam, you had something. I can see this weekend all the people, Africa, a hungry continent, doing poorly in agriculture. You know, it is written by Tom Mushindi. Tom Mushindi is George Soros. So for me, I don't read his articles. I wish you know my stand. Anybody who works with George Soros, to hell. And then I see, let me look at Professor Peter Kagwanja. We must get our most able into politics. Which one? But you cannot even do your own politics. You're shut up. Then we see this other man, what is his name? 2022 could be 207. Macau Mutu, at this time today you scored. You have something that you have written which touches. It could be worse because the way we see people sharpening their tongues, Miriam, it could cause us a problem. You have seen South Africa going to the edge, and we could have a very, very huge problem in 2022 if we don't resolve our problems of constitutional reforms. Maybe I'm talking about these constitutional reforms before. We are past 8 minutes. We should be coming to the American double standards in the world. For us, we don't fear CIA. We don't fear any organization because we don't work for them. But we criticize for the best of the world. Miriam, this BBI, in your heart of hearts, you are a lady, the only lady on the station for us. Shall we win this appeal?
Let's wait for the court. 20th of August, we see how what they will rule.
We can't hear you, Miriam.
I'm saying we wait for the court because.
Sorry.
We wait.
Go ahead, Miriam.
Yes, we wait for the court ruling. I think the lawyers that were, representing the BBI side, they put forth a very spirited fight in the court. But I think since the matter is in court, we just wait for 20th of August. I think that is where we're expecting the Court of Appeal to make its ruling.
Why did they say 22nd August? And why didn't they summarize it much earlier so that they give the government and the executive to arrange either to appeal in the Supreme Court or not? Is there another tricks that are being performed to bring down the BBI? Isn't it a frustration that we have been talking about on this program for 1 year? Yes.
All right.
Go ahead.
I think that is one way of looking at it, but also could be maybe the amount of evidence that was presented to the court. I think they had to comb through it, and it was a lot. So maybe that is also one side why they needed that much time, but also according to the timelines that the BBI proponents had, because they wanted this referendum to be done before, August. So I think that would absolutely frustrate, the BBI, the government, because after next month we cannot have this referendum or whatever. If we have the referendum after August, then obviously that will interfere with the elections next year, because we cannot have a referendum between 1 year before the elections. So I think if that is the case, then maybe this BBI will not be a reality right now, because according to our constitution, it cannot happen after August next month.
So this is a very cliffhanger politics that we see now hanging over Kenya. Dr. Nyakchama, don't you think the government should pluck some of those things and quickly run to put in shape what is needed? What have I said here time and time again? Nyakchama, you have been listening to me, and the rest of you, including Tawisha, the Japan, and the Saxon. I've been saying, the moment you turn the BBI into a political process, and I want people to listen carefully. If you are a grave digger, stick to grave digging. Don't become an architect. Tawish, if you are a journalist, stick to journalism. Don't go to pretend to build storied buildings in town. They will collapse and kill. I was telling people that don't mention anything to do with the political process. It is a redemption process. And I've sung redemption every day. Nyakchama, see where we have reached. We reached a deadlock because people don't listen. What's your comment?
Thank you, Dr. Masanga. I think we have discussed this subject, and you're absolutely right. Even the judges must know that they are not purely dealing with the legal process. They are dealing also a hybrid of both constitutional, legal, and political. You know, that is what, in fact, still I meant of, I love this man. This is what Abraham Lincoln faced, because he said that as much as you argue a lot of constitutionalism on the timelines put on what we're supposed to abide by, don't also lock me out on my oath of office. And you see, as much as the judges may rule, the President of the Republic of Kenya needs also to look at
we seem to be having a problem.
There, Dr. Nyachama, I think you arrange your microphones and then you come back. Miriam, unless there's something else, we move on to the second topic.
Yes, and that is...
and exhaust it and then we go home. Dr. Nyachama, are you back?
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, I went off. What I was saying, Dr. Masanga, is that there is one aspect, if we have to borrow this wisdom from Abraham Lincoln, that there is one aspect which the President of the Republic of Kenya needs to look at. The letter and the spirit of his oath of office bestows upon him the duty to defend this republic, this nation, this government, where the Constitution is the organic law. Because the bottom line is that the nation must continue as a viable enterprise, and the judges, their ruling must be that ruling that will continue to make Kenya as a viable enterprise where all citizens enjoy equal opportunities in a peaceful environment.
We seem to be having a bit of a technical hitch there from Dr. Nyachama's connection. So, Dr. Nyachama,
Dr. Nyachama, I think this now we have exhausted this subject and you seem to be cut off all the time. I don't know whether you can now make your point. Sir?
So, sorry, I had an unstable internet, sorry. What I was saying that actually I want to pray that may wisdom prevail upon the judges and look at the bigger picture, that the welfare of the nation supersedes any other interest, whether they are advocated from the window of a constitution. We must develop a peaceful nation, and His Excellency the President needs to read thoroughly sort of office was to protect that nation, that government, and this government is the Republic of Kenya. I hope both parties must be guided by wisdom through the divine powers. To that extent, Dr. Masanga, I submit.
Thank you very much. The Latin word for pastors, they are pastors, shepherd. It is called paseke. Paseke. That's the Latin word. I think, Doctor, you are an expert. Pasekere is a Latin word meaning shepherds. Have the shepherds of the mountain lost direction? That's our question, Miriam, tomorrow for the People's Court. Has the mountain lost direction? What is disturbing the mountain? Why has Ruto fixed his mind on the mountain and not his Rift Valley? Where is he? Where his home is peaceful. Nobody is fighting. Nobody is talking about elections in the Rift Valley. Why? Why? These are the fundamental questions that you people in the panel tomorrow in the People's Court can discuss. Thank you very much, Dr. Nyachama. There we are. Abraham Lincoln said it. We have said it. And we continue to say it. There is an African proverb that says, those who don't listen to the mother fall in the trap of an elephant, in the root of the elephant. I think you have it in your communities. If you don't listen to the advice of the elders or your mom tells you, don't follow that route when you are going to collect water. You always say, no, I like that route. Because he knows there is an elephant. You see, in Mount Kenya, there are elephants come from the south, then walk through. They come at night, you might think it is an earthquake. I've gone to one of those places where they pass nearby. You might think there is an earthquake that has come, yet there are elephants going up the hill in one of those resorts. So I have always witnessed those type of things. Thank you very much, viewers. Let's turn on to the global news. America went into Afghanistan almost over a decade ago. They said they wanted to make Afghanistan work. They wanted to make Iraq work. America left us a problem on the African continent. In 1991, America came to Somalia, invaded Somalia, and they left hurriedly with their pants in their knees. American foreign policy in the world today is disrupting the entire world. Look at Tripoli in Benghazi, where they have left Libya destroyed. Look at what happened to Syria. Can you imagine that there was an election in Syria? Syrians went to vote. Did you imagine that Syria was going to be left on earth? Assad stood against America. Obama armed up the Syrians. Rebels, actually, Americans armed out ISIS. They gave ISIS guns because they hated Assad. You now know what happened to Syria. We even know there are some Syrians, Miriam, who are in Nairobi claiming asylum. I have got this from the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Yes, there are some who arrived at our borders. Some are in Somalia. Plenty of them are in Somalia. We don't know whether they are still ISIS. They could be. But people have come. Syria was Aleppo. Some time back in 1983, I traveled to Aleppo. And I went to see the city of Haifa. The Haifa, which was the port of Capernaum. When you are in Haifa city, you are shown where Jesus fed 5,000 people down on the Sea of Galilee. Aleppo was one of the most enterprising cities that St. Paul, you remember when Paul changed, Saul changed to Paul. It was the city of Aleppo. It's historical. It was bombed to the ground. American foreign policy seem to be doing more harm. Look at what they are doing in Cuba. Obama went and opened up relationship with Cuba. Mr. Trump cut off relationship with Cuba. Obama's, party itself, led by Joe Biden, has again targeted Cuba and said there must be a regime change. The demonstrations that you see on the streets of South Africa, who funds them? Who funds the judges? George Soros. Who is George Soros? Why is it that Americans are quick at issuing arrest warrants to other nationals across the world, but they have never issued one warrant of arrest against George Soros. These are some of the things I want you, my panel today, to dissect. America went to Afghanistan. Believe me or not, it is the most very, very disheartening thing to mention that they left Bagram at night, abandoned the port, the city, and they are in the hands of Taliban. They were defeated, they left. The way they went to America, to Afghanistan, is the way they left. They left the government in Kabul. A senseless government. A government without power, not enough manpower. I want to bring it back home to Kenya. And the Kenyan security agencies and the government of Kenya must watch out these words and take them seriously. A few months ago, a rumor came up to say Al-Shabaab has been meeting people in Doha. Kenya took a resolution to the United Nations Security Council to proscribe Al-Shabaab as a terrorist group. America, Norway, France rejected that resolution. Can somebody in the Kenya government explain to me how this resolution was rejected? Yet Al-Shabaab is a terrorist group, and America bans all terrorist group and freezes all assets of terrorists. Who is benefiting out of Al-Shabaab? Who? Are we not going to see another scenario of the Taliban? That's why I brought this topic this afternoon, Miriam, for our brains to juggle. Can Kenya trust that Americans one day will not wake up to say, we have left Somalia in your hands. We are gone. The way they have done to Afghanistan. How do you think Taliban, they have even flown themselves with an aircraft and they have landed in Qatar, in Doha. They are there. Anyway, the world is full of miracles. In 2006, I also landed in Garamba Park. I found myself in Garamba Park with Dr. Riaka Machar, Dr. Chisano, Dr. Salvaki, and several people. We were looking for these rebels of the Lord Resistance Army of Kony. So I am not shocked that the Americans might actually abandon the fight. And therefore, we brought this topic for Kenya and the Kenyan authorities and the security agencies to be alert that one day we might be left alone to battle, and the Ugandan government to be alert that we might be left alone to battle in Somalia. Because the way the behavior of the American government, as they have done in Afghanistan, and the European Union withdrawing troops when there is no capability to sustain against the Taliban, is something that makes me never to like the subject of international relations. And if any of my children had brought me a degree that him or her studied international relations, I would tear it into two parts. There is no subject of international relations. There is a subject of international conspiracy. Back to you in the studio, Miriam. You have some background notes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Doctor, thank you so much. And of course, you brought in the issue of Somalia, and we know that the U.S., I think, is in the process of withdrawing from Somalia. And I think as it is, the process is ongoing. And they have a deadline. I think former President Trump said it, and I think Joe Biden is leaving to that pronouncement that was made there by the former president. So they're withdrawing. So in essence, we will be left to ourselves to deal with the issue of terrorism in this part of the continent. But also I'd like to hear what the rest of the panelists have to say about this matter, having in mind the U.S. will always do what's best for its people when it comes to its foreign policies. Its foreign policies is just based on protecting its interests. So when they feel like the interest is not being served or whatever it is, then they do what they need to do for their own sake. They've never cared so much about us or anywhere they are. So I think that is the bottom line. Dr. Joseph Nyanchama.
Thank you, Miriam. This is a lost issue. The American behavior is not a new issue. Has always been an inconsistent world nations, and they give with one hand under the flashing light of cameras and they take with the other hand in the shadows. There is a Congolese proverb that says that when wood is put in water, it can never turn to be a crocodile. The proverb simply says it doesn't matter how long the wood will stay.
Can you repeat that proverb? It's very good. I'm a very good historian here. I cram this proverb. What did it say?
It says that it doesn't matter how long wood will stay in water. It will never turn into a crocodile.
Yes, okay, I got it.
So, in that context, it doesn't matter how long the American soldiers will stay in a foreign land where they are pretending to protect. It will lead to nothing. That is why the proverb was saying, good will remain still good. It will never turn into a crocodile to cause any effect. So, this is a behavior synonymous with that proverb, the behavior of the American foreign policy, where it only goes in when it wants to advance its interest, and when it says either it's difficult to achieve, it withdraws, and when it achieves it, it leaves. And this is a critical lesson for African nations, that they need to start to strive to be self-reliant, not to be conned by people who have hidden interests as if they are helping them. In fact, that is why in Kenya, Dr. Masanga, we want to rule ourselves with a clear agenda where we are peaceful. And that is why we are fighting for the BBI to be passed. There is a man called John Mason. He says, a half effort does not lead to a half result. It leads to zero. It is only full effort that will lead to full result. All of the efforts Americans have done to the nation it has occupied in the pretext that it is protecting them, it is a zero and a shame to them because it's zero. It is now devastating that actually it is leaving Somalia, and the Kenyan nation needs to be aware of the risks inherent therein and begin to prepare. In fact, now America has told the whole world that it is a nation that will not be trusted. And the sooner various African nations learn this attitude, the better for it. America's caused more harm, by the way, than good to world nations. Look at it, Pakistan. Dr. Masanga, you said they left at night. You know why? In where I come from, it is only a witch who makes sure sunshine does not catch with him, because he will be embarrassed. That is why they left at night, because they could be embarrassed. In fact, it is manifesting their behavior of non-productive, and now nations need not to accept whenever they come in pretending to protect where there are problems. And Kenya as a nation, let us be aware, East African region, let us be aware of this. African as a nation, as a continent, let us be aware. You, Dr. Masanga, as a Pan-African activist, please let it be that America is a very dangerous state. It will only bring more conflict. It will be rejected in all fronts, and let African nations prepare themselves and become self-reliant. I submit, Dr.
Thank you very much, Miriam. And Saxon Vima, you are part of the people Americans have targeted on this continent. What are your feelings? How does the Zimbabwean government feel about the sanctions that were imposed on you by the Americans? Today they are leaving Afghanistan, but they cannot leave Zimbabwe and they cannot lift the sanctions. What is your view? Africans want to hear, and the worldwide people want to hear your views.
The Americans don't have permanent friends. They've got permanent interest. They moved into Afghanistan in 2001 after the 9/11. Their intention was to remove the Taliban. And this has been a failed move. And the Americans, wherever they go, they create chaos. As long as it allows them to loot, look at how they left the JCPOA in Iran, with the Peace 5 plus the Iran deal, how they messed it up because it wasn't serving their interest. Right now, they want to come back because Iran has moved and has created new relations. I mean, you understand, they've got the $400 billion deal that they struck with the Chinese. The Americans don't have interest of anyone. They are selfish. I think I've noticed most of the problems that the world has ever had is caused by the Americans, by the CIA. Look at what they've done to Libya. And in East Africa, people need to be very, very much aware that in 1991, when they left Farai, I believe our troops were also sent in there to clear the mess they created in Somalia with their Delta Force and the Rangers. The Kenyans need to, and the East African nations need to be aware of the evil intentions of the Americans. They know that the moment they've destabilized the region, their NGOs, through the likes of George Soros, can cause internal strife within those nations because your resources will be stretched fighting terrorism. And in actual fact, terrorism is a creation of the Americans. The Taliban were a creation of the Americans in 1979, as when the Mujahideen, when the Soviet Union had invaded. They funded them, they armed them. Right now, they've created the mess. The same they did in Syria. So for us Zimbabweans, I think we have got mistrust with these Americans. That's why when they called us to invade, to participate in Mozambique, we rejected because we knew their intention was to weaken us, and we said we are going to go there as a regional bloc, like what we are doing this week. We're going there as SADC, meaning that all 16 nations are participating, not us alone, because the Americans had an intention to weaken us, and because they know they've also got oil. They know that once they have moved into Mozambique, they use that as a scapegoat for the terrorists to attack us, and so that we cannot justify, we cannot blame, you cannot see their evil end. Their foreign policy is based on their own interests, their selfish interests. Look what they've been doing in Cuba, what they've done in South America. Africa needs to wake up. We need to stand on our own feet, solve our own problems, not to invite them. Because once they come in, they create chaos, I submit.
Thank you very much. Javani Karanja, across briefly, you are from the mountains where Miraa is exported to Somalia. Somalia has not fully stabilized. But what we see, America warning us, telling us they are leaving. They created this problem in 1991. The African countries, Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia, Burundi, Djibouti, we went in. Uganda, my country, was the first country to go into Somalia. We tried to stabilize and pacify Somalia. Today, as we speak, the Americans made a very terrible mistake on the question of Somalia. they recognize Eritrea. Eritrea is the bedrock of terrorism on this continent. When Al-Shabaab kill people in Kenya, they run back to Eritrea. They get their uniforms from Saudi Arabia. Have you noticed that the uniforms of Saudi Arabian army are similar colors to the uniforms that Al-Shabaab wears? So when you look at these events on the continent of Africa, America ran very fast to remove Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki from presidency, from the terrorist group. But they were not keen to add Al-Shabaab on the terrorist group. Why? Because of Qatar. Look at these events, Africans, especially in Kenya. Analysts, security analysts in Kenya, I call upon you when you get this clip. Look at it. Why is it that they did not put the terrorists on the terrorist list? It's because of Qatar. Qatar has been at the forefront, telling Kenya, we shall negotiate, we shall do this. But in actual sense, the Qataris are the ones that fund the projects that kill Kenya. The oil blocks in the Indian Ocean. Only 1 month left in the middle. The declaration of whose oil it is coming in September. We are waiting for a shocker. America has not changed its policy. It has not removed the written to the court to withdraw this case so that we can come out and rearrange. Now, America, the Somalis have not. America is knowing that the problem of Somalia is going to be big around September. And they started warning us that they are withdrawing their troops to go back. Because in September, once there is a declaration that one of the countries is the owner of the Indian Ocean oil blocks, I don't think Kenya will sit down in Nairobi and wait for Somalia to take over those blocks. Neither do I think Somalia will sit. Somalia has been equipping itself with the latest stealthy planes from Turkey. And these are countries that enjoy diplomatic norms in Kenya. We are here laughing with people. They enjoy our tea. They enjoy everything. They enjoy our women, everything. They enjoy everything. They're here. And then they go outside there to undermine the country called Kenya. It is not proper for a foreign policy of Kenya to keep and watch when these things are going to happen. In the shortest time, we are going to see. That's why you see America is very tactful. They know very well that the Somali-Kenyan border conflict in the Indian Ocean will suck them in. And they have given a note to withdraw from Somalia, Javan Karanja. Given that background, which way do we go? Javan Karanja? If Javan is off, then let's get Miriam back to Miriam. Which way do we go? We look, you have already given us the timetable. Mm-hmm. And the timetable looks like it comes in. It is in the same, synchronized manner to meet the Americans' departure with the ruling of ICJ, which is coming on September something, 20th, around there, between 20th and the 30th. I don't know the exact day. And once this ruling is here, Americans don't want to be caught up in Somalia. But quietly, the American satellites have been seeing which country has been arming Somalia. Planes, still planes of Air Force, the best pilots trained in Ankara, in Turkey, have been brought back in preparation for declaration of war in the Great Lakes region of East Africa and the Horn of Africa. Is this what we call a foreign policy a juggled policy, a voodoo policy. What do you call it? Miriam.
That's an interesting way, Doctor.
By the way, some friend of mine told me that you are very tactful. And I told him, I told him that Miriam is very tactful, like the teacher. I am here, the elder, and I'm very tactful. And I say, she must have copied one or two things from me. And you look, today, just now, a friend has just told me, you are very tactful on answering that question. So I don't know whether you are going to be tactful again. The policy, is it a voodoo policy, a bad policy, or an exit strategy without the Kenyans knowing, but pleasing the Kenyans? At the same time to say, we shall bring all the Africa Command into Nairobi. But you are running away from the main theater of operation.
The same way.
You mean the satellite? The satellite of America does not see these planes coming, being flown in from Turkey.
I think the same way they ran away from leading the process in South Sudan. Remember, Americans abandoned that process and it was left to Kenya, and Kenya has been struggling with that process, even in Somalia. And we've seen their interest growing by the day, but because the show is not very clear yet in Somalia, it's not as stable as they want, for them to come in, because we know America has a lot of interest in Somalia to serve its own interest, has nothing to do with Kenya or the people of Somalia. And that has been, the basis of these foreign policies we see from these Western countries. They just protect their own interest. And so they're still waiting for us to come and clear things up for them because they thought they will come in, and you've seen their interest even when it comes to the oil. America has been supporting, I think the U.S. has been supporting Kenya in this regard, but they're waiting to see how things are coming down in Somalia so that they can come up and build their industries and see what they can get from Somalia, because we know Somalia right now is very fertile with a lot of opportunities. Because the country is all ran down. So they're waiting to see. But they do not want to do the dirty work. They still want to AMISOM to continue clearing up and cleaning up and dealing with the issues of Al-Shabaab. So they're waiting. They're just waiting on the fence to see how that will work out, and waiting for other countries to come and clear the show for them. And so, Kenya will be left, because as we don't have a choice, we are fighting a war that we've been forced to fight because of our own national security. That's why even Kenya had to go to Somalia. So we are forced to deal with the issue of Al-Shabaab for our own, national interest, and we do not have a choice on this. So Kenya will continue fighting to protect its own people here in the country. So, the U.S. is very tactful on that matter, and they're waiting for us to clear the dirty mess on their behalf.
I think you have a point there, but there is one clue that I want to give you. The first company that bought the blocks, the oil of the Indian blocks, is American. The people who paid money for exploration and everything on the Indian Ocean is linked to the oil company, the Soma Oil Company, and the gas of Norway, which is linked. That is why you see Norway was the first country to write to the Americans, the United Nations Security Council, not to proscribe Al-Shabaab. Have you seen the link?
Yes.
Anybody studying, and I am sure several students of international relations are watching us to see the conspiracy theory of the Americans.
But the U.S. government is supporting Kenya. British has gone to the side of Somalia. Norway has gone to the side of Somalia. But the U.S. government have put a front. They're supporting Kenya in this regard. So for
because they don't. Why are they putting their foot in front? Because they don't want to lose.
I think they don't want to lose. They're playing safe. Yes.
In the case the oil, in the case ICJ says the islands belong to Kenya, then they will not have troops in Somalia to protect. They will go straight to protect the islands. Have you seen international conspiracy? This is exactly what Africa should learn. And for me, this type of games are the ones that have made us to die without knowing why we are dying. You have brought in the issue of South Sudan. You saw how they quickly said they are leaving South Sudan. After the first report victimized the people, not victimized, it pointed out the people who killed the people in South Sudan. And one of the things that the United States has baffled me about is you cannot do a peace process in a place. The rules of a peace process are accountability. One of the things of a peace process, Nyachama, is accountability. And when the United States failed and looked and poured money to IGAD to arrange a political arrangement for South Sudan, instead of accountability arrangement, you get my point? Accountability arrangement, that is when I saw what we call international conspiracy. You know very well you cannot, you see, an rebel group now in Sudan is asking to be the vice president. The one that is supported by you. There is another man, another warlord in the region, and coming from Kenya, he supports another group that is fighting in Eastern and Central Equatoria. That's a very big topic for another day on South Sudan. They are destabilizing Salva Kiir, and they are making the work of President Uhuru Kenyatta very difficult in resolving as a member of the United Nations Security Council. Remember, Kenya is on the United Nations Security Council. And then Kenya is also the chairperson of PSC, Peace, Security, and Commission of African Union.
Conflict and
they are the chair. And these things are happening. At the same time, when you look across the Sahel region, look at Libya. Kenya is concerned, must be concerned about Libya. In Cameroon, talk about Cameroon. The president of Cameroon has been what do you call it? There is a siege at the hotel right now as we speak, right now in Switzerland, where he has sneaked in quietly, but they discovered he was there. So all these guys have flown into Switzerland, and the man is about to be removed from the roof of the hotel now. Paul Biya. This is what is happening to. But Americans know there is a problem in Cameroon. Americans know there's a problem in Nigeria. They know there's a problem in Central African Republic. They don't help. But they went to Afghanistan. Now, my last question, Javan Karanja, and to end all of you. Is it because they got a lot of cocaine? By the way, have you heard of cocaine coming again on the Indian Ocean? Can somebody tell me, since President Uhuru Kenyatta did a very dramatic thing, blew up that ship? President Kenyatta blew up that ship completely and taught the cocaine dealers a lesson. Have you ever heard of cocaine seized at the port, Karanja?
No, I've never heard of that issue again, because the measures that President Uhuru put in place were deterrent measures that ensured anybody who was working in conjunction with those who are the drug smugglers in the region, they had a reason to fear for their money, and they cannot go investing in an enterprise where they make losses. That is why maybe they fear to come on that route again, because the Lamu port and the Mombasa port, it was a no-go zone for those kind of deals and cocaine transportation or exportation to other regions. I think that is why they feared. Therefore, we need to be coming up with these strategic and ruthless measures that ensure that we keep at pace, we deter people from committing those kind of crimes, because at the end of the day, it is our youths who suffer from these drugs, it's our youths who suffer from using these cocaines, and we end up having a country that is crime prone because of these kind of activities. Therefore, that route that President Uhuru Kenyatta took was a very good route. We also saw him banning the the animal products, the ivory and the leopard skins and so on. And from that time, we have seen people are starting to fear coming here to kill our rhinos, to export that precious product to China and the Asian countries. Therefore, this kind of measures is what we need. Also, when it comes to deal with the terrorism, we need to come up with those kind of measures so that we can ensure our country is safe without really relying on these external forces like USA or other. We can have our measures as a country because our safety comes number one. For America, their interest comes number one priority. We need also to adopt that kind of a strategy in Africa, where our priority, where our interest, where our prominence should be number one, rather than having others people's prominence at the top of the list. I submit.
Thank you very much, Karanja. On that note, I return to Miriam to wind up. But before I wind up, analyst Dr. Chama
has something to say, yes.
If you have one moment.
Thank you, Dr. Masanga, my fellow panelists, Miriam, Karanja, and the others who have just left. It has been a great pleasure for me to discuss here, but I wanted to say something on unfolding events in our country. And I want also the president to benefit from what our people believe. When things get worse, they usually warn. The elders of the village say, let a child play with the breasts of his mother, but not the stones of his father. I think the president...
Repeat that once again. I hope it is not the land, the breasts, and the name that thing in a different way. How is it, Nachama? You know, children are watching us. Yes.
You know why the old men, when things got worse and the people were joking around to the desperate cause instability.
Just leave it, let's pass, because Miriam is not.
Cause instability. So they were using in proverbial form to warn the people are joking with the stability of the community. That is why they were saying, our country, our father is Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes.
The bedrock of our unity.
Yes.
And they must be supported by all of us. This issue, people go left and right. In fact, abusing a head of state was likened to be the stone. So that's why they were warned, let them continue choking with the breast of their mothers, but not the stone of the father. And I think the president is the head of state.
Whose stone should not be touched.
Exactly.
Hey,
because
that is everybody is saying it, even the president is listening. People are saying millions and millions. Boss, let me louder. Millions and millions of supporters of President Uhuru Kenyatta are saying enough is enough. In fact, somebody told me this morning what Atwoli said in last year, the burial of, I think, was it this year? That the president roar. He said he roars like you think I cannot roar. People are saying roar now.
Yes.
Because you cannot allow a man in your own government insulting you, going to your backyard, touching your stones. Hey! Hey! Hey!
Oh, Dr. Masanga, you have snatched the words from my mouth.
Miriam. Yes, that is it exactly. Enough is enough. You cannot insult the president. You are earning the salary from His Excellency, the president, signing for the money. And then we have a man, a small maggot called Itumbi, insulting us. Itumbi did not know how to use spoons, cutlery, on a plane. It is me, Matsanga, who showed Itumbi how to use cutlery on a plane. And Itumbi is wanted by international agencies. That's why he can't travel. buy Itumbi one ticket, has ticket to go to Rwanda. Rwandese authorities will impound him. That's why a man like Itumbi has defeated the entire establishment. Surely, he can announce results and walk free. Results which actually rhymed with the results of the IEBC. Is it a state? Are we in a state of Quagmire? Are we in a state of Gorbachev? You remember when Gorbachev, let me tell you, Dr. Nyachama, you and I, we teach this subject. Miriam, very serious Stalinist censorship theories. What is going on? How on earth can a man earn salary in the same government and I tell you I'm leaving in December after I've destroyed you?
Nowhere in the world has that ever happened.
I have never seen this.
No, nowhere in the world.
And I cry. You people Kenyans, don't cry for me, cry for yourselves. Jesus said that to the women of Jerusalem. Mimi naenda mbele, nyenye mulie kwa watoto wenu. If I'm wrong in religion, God can help me here. Don't cry for me. I've done my best. Me and Ruto, we are like oil and water. We separate. If he becomes the president, he can enjoy. I don't sleep on a tree. Because Ruto has forgotten that even Uhuru Kenyatta, whom he is abusing, is the one who paid his legal fees. And he doesn't know, I know. He didn't have money to pay legal fees. So you are coming to touch the stones of the same man. Eh? I know Miriam, we don't want to talk about these stones of Dr. Nyachama, but it is a very good type of stones. Just hakuna hii kitu inaenda too much, too far. Everybody you find in the hotel, everywhere, you jump out of the car to the hotel, you want to go to the gym. They ask you, what is this? What is this? A man belittles as he earns his salary. Just remove the bodyguards. Atembee uchi. Watu watamupiga kwa spiti. Haki. Yeah, remove the bodyguards. Why does he doesn't deserve it? He's no longer Jubilee party. Why should he sit in a place? He's buying sympathy vote every day. Miriam, sympathy vote. The guy has become a big. He's a kid. Analia, you see the baby who has stolen mother's vegetables in the pot. How? It wasn't me. You are always against me. It is what Ruto is saying. The more he goes on doing this, the more of these derailed elements, like Ndindi Nyoro, my employee. Yes, Ndindi Nyoro was my employee. On this television station, I was paying him 5,000 shillings per show. And today, it's also insulting Uhuru Kenyatta. He was my employee. I don't know why Stephen cannot play that clip now. 5,000 shillings. Today, he is now also insulting Uhuru Kenyatta. You are not. Surely. And you know such things happen in Kenya, surely. There's nobody who can allow this. But the truth is, as I finish, and Miriam, we are finished on time, when Kenyans are told to do some things in the future, do them. 5 years ago, I went to work to the court to remove the work envelope Today, 2021, my viewers, can you tell me what is happening again? The ICC has arrived, has come back. And today, Kenya still has one man to hand over. And that man is called Barasa. You haven't swallowed him. You see, when you tell people, they think you are lying. Have you seen that Karim Khan is not your prosecutor now? He is the prosecutor of the world. And he has also a family to feed. And the people here were excited. Oh, Karim Khan has come. You know, he excused himself, recused himself from the case. Yes, and the deputy is going to issue warrants. Yes, it will come. So, whichever way, Mr. Ruto, I heard it. This is, Mr. Ruto, I helped you to remove rule number 68. You never came back to say thank you, even just to give me coffee. But time will catch up with you. I submit, Miriam.
Thank you. And that is where we end our show for today. Thank you so much, Dr. David Matanga, Dr. Joseph Nyachama, Douglas Kirimi, Samuel Tawish, Javan Karanja, and Saxon Zvina, who today joined us all the way from Harare in Zimbabwe. My name is Miriam Ogotu. We meet here tomorrow for more news across the continent of Africa. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you.